Black Tie Optional is a podcast about people who have figured out how to make a great living doing what they love. We share stories about the highs, the lows, and what pushes them daily to achieve their dreams. My name is Philip Benz, and welcome to Black Tie Optional. Marcus, you ready?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Great.
Awesome. So nice to officially meet you. I've seen you around for 3 years.
Right.
Helping Keith and Dusty out with this whole thing. I've never actually gotten to talk to you, though, so I'm pretty glad to actually sit down with you now.
Yeah, this is good.
Awesome. So what we're going to talk about today, man, is the Medicare side of things, but very first thing I want to talk to you about is, the easy thing. What's your name? What do you do? And, who do you work for?
Well, my name is Marcus Chalfant, and I'm commonly known around the area as the Anchor. It became a nickname because I was the last guy on the conference call on the roll call, and Keith started calling me the Anchor. So I've been with him for about 9 years now, and I've been in the business for almost 30 years. When I met Keith, I had the great opportunity of catching him early, and I hitched my wagon to his giddy up, and we've made a lot of money for a lot of years.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And you guys work directly under Planright, correct? So
Right.
NASB is the umbrella, and then Planright is under there.
Right.
So can you kind of explain to me a little bit how that works?
Well, basically, NASB is a marketing organization, and they help us with contracts, and they help us with the leads, and they get us the good contracts and the good leads and the leadership and the training. And then Planright is a franchise within North American Senior Benefits, and with Keith being the franchise director, essentially, he's the coach. He gets to pick and choose what we do and how we direct our efforts. And of course, we focus primarily on final expense life insurance through North American Senior Benefits, but we've added some additional carriers and options and products and fields that we focused on because we wanted to build people for life. And in doing that, the only way we could build people for life is not just the clients that we work with, but the agents as well. And we've added things like the annuity programs. We've added the bigger type life insurance policies, the universal life policies, the fully underwritten type things. And Medicare has been a big add-on that we've added recently. We really started doing that probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago. He was at my house in Charleston, and we were standing at the kitchen table basically, and he said, "What do you think about adding Medicare?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty detailed, but it fits perfectly into what we do because most Medicare agents don't write very much, and the main reason they don't write very much is because of the restricted marketing that they can do. Where we've got access to the seniors through the leads and the final expense, now they're part of our book of business. And we can go back to them and take care of their Medicare business as well."
So it essentially kind of makes you guys at Planright a one-stop shop.
Right. When we go into somebody's house, and one of the things that I pitched it to Keith and Jordan and Craig is that when you sell somebody a life insurance policy, if that's all you do, you're an agent. But if you take care of multiple policies in their house, you're their agent. And you're the one-stop shop. You got one dentist, you got one doctor, you got one barber, you should have one insurance agent. And we make sure that by doing that, in the final expense world, there's a lot of people out there. Well, if we've got their Medicare and their life insurance, we're not having another person come into our client's house and take our business, essentially.
And the beautiful part of that is that it's not only a benefit for you guys as a company, but it's also a benefit for the client because, they only have to keep up with one phone number now.
Right.
They only have to remember one name. If they have an issue with their life insurance thing, something pops up, they can come straight to you guys. And then once they reach the age to where they need Medicare or anything like that, boom, you guys have been in their phone book for a while. You guys have been in their cell phone, so you're good to go. So
Exactly.
Tell me about the ease for the client experience now.
Well, with them, like you said, having one agent, they know who to call whenever they've got a personal issue that they need to deal with. One person to change their change of address. And they don't have to call their life guy and their health guy and their dental guy and their one change of address. That's one big one. That's a simple one. Changing of beneficiaries, changing of banking information. All of that makes it easier for the client. It also makes it easier for beneficiaries of those clients because they've only got one agent to call when that day happens, and mama goes and meets the Lord. They've only got to talk to one person.
Someone that they built a relationship with.
Exactly. And
Beautiful.
we've taken care of not just mama, but we've taken care of their kids and their grandkids and their brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and cousins.
So then it kind of becomes a generational thing after that, that generational relationship where the kids, I mean, yes, you're not going to see, you're not going to like come over for family dinners and stuff like that. So maybe sometimes you do, but down the road, it's like, oh, well, I remember, when mom passed away, Marcus was there. Maybe we should give him a call because it's time for us to get life insurance now.
I've got one family in Goose Creek, South Carolina. The lady was a lead, and I went in there and took care of her health. And then I went back and I took care of her life. And then she asked me to come back and take care of her children's health and their life and the grandchildren's life and health. And I've written 39 family members off of that one lead and multiple policies off of each, for each person.
From the outside looking in, a lot of times people kind of couple up in the insurance world with kind of like, they're vultures or just salespeople and all that. You got to develop a relationship with that family. You got to know them. You got to know their kids' names, their kids' names. Tell me about that side of things. From the outside looking in, a lot of the times people don't see that side.
When I think about professions in the world, most people would consider, the cloth, the ministry, as being one of the most significant professions in the world. And I've always considered the insurance business to be directly underneath that, because the pastor takes care of you for after you die, and we take care of your family after you die. And when you've got that sort of a heart about it, that you're there for their family after they're no longer there, it changes it from being a job to being a calling, more like a ministry or a mission.
That's very powerful. So we talked a little bit earlier before we sat down for the interview about how Planright is different from a lot of the other providers out there. And the big one is that you guys actually get to shop around. You're not stuck into one product. Tell me a little bit about the shopping around aspect.
Well, when we go on to some of the websites, some of the tools that we have available to us through some of our broker partners, they give us the opportunity to look at all of the carriers that are in the area. Some agents don't have access to that because they're an agent for the company. Whether they work for, one company or maybe they work for a couple of companies, we have access to all of them. So we're supposed to tell people that we may not have access to all carriers, but in my case, I do have access to all the carriers that are in the counties that I work in. And that's the best benefit to the client, because we don't have to put a square peg into a round hole. We can find them exactly the best thing based on their age and their health and their resources. It's a perfect fit. It may not be everything that they could want, but it's the best thing that's available for them in their area.
And we also talked a little bit about this before too, but the supplemental benefits, aside from just being able to shop around and stuff like that, touch on that a little bit.
Well, when you have a Medicare plan, you get your red, white, and blue card, and it's got Part A and Part B. Well, that covers 80% of the bill. There are Medicare supplements that cover the other 20%, but there's a premium attached to that. A lot of people decide to go with the Part C, which is a Medicare Advantage plan that brings in the prescription drugs, and it has some copays and co-insurance and out-of-pocket expenses. Well, those can also be covered through other companies. We work with Guaranteed Trust Life, Chesapeake. There's a number of different carriers that we work with that offer a hospitalization supplement or an accident supplement, or maybe they just want some additional coverage for like dental or vision or, prescription drugs. We can offer that over age 65 and under age 65 because, some of the folks have not yet gotten their red, white, and blue card yet.
Beautiful, man. I think that covers it for the Medicare side of things. I want to get into mastering your craft. So that's the whole reason why we're here today. I want to know, what does mastering your craft actually mean to you? You've been in this now for 30 years. You probably were not a master 30 years ago when you started, but I would probably say now, after 30 years, you've definitely developed those skills. What does mastering your craft mean to you?
Well, because of the changing business that we deal with, you can't attain the position of master of your craft. It's a constant evolving thing that you're looking for. The goalpost is always moving because there's new products, there's new services, there are new issues that are coming up, and we constantly have to be evolving with that. The state requires us to take a continuing education, and we do that through the state, and it helps us master our craft. Each of the carriers that we work with, they've all got back offices that we can go into and learn about, the products and the offerings that they have. We also have to work on ourselves, because just knowing the product is not how to become a master at what you do. You have to be able to relate with people. You have to be able to lead people. And it's not just leading people as if you're a manager of other people. You have to be able to lead your clients to make a good decision. So communication skills, decision-making processes, handling your money properly. A great agent can be a great agent, but if he doesn't take care of his taxes, he's not going to be in business for very long. So there's so many intricacies of being a master of your craft. It's a full-time job.
Would you say a master of their craft continues to continue learning?
Oh, absolutely. It's something. One of the things that we have in Planright and North American Senior Benefits is we've got the daily conference call. We call that the drip, because we drip information on you on a daily basis. And even though my license is getting ready to turn 30 years old in September, and some of the agents that we work with aren't that old, I listen to the conference call every day. And oftentimes I'm learning from people who are young enough to be my children, because I'm not too old or too arrogant to think that I know everything. A friend of mine once told me that, I thought that she was the most wise, intelligent, smart person that I knew. She said, "Marcus, you need to get out more." She runs the Hubble Space Telescope. And when I talked to her, I said, "But you're around all these smart people, and this kind of goes a little bit off, and I know you can edit this a little bit, but I said, how's your faith?" And she said, "Marcus, God is good." And I said, "But you're around all these scientists and all these learned people." And she said, "There's a lot of people out there that think they know everything. And then there are the really smart ones who know they don't. Those are the people who are constantly seeking more and trying to improve themselves. Once you think you've arrived, you start falling behind."
And the other thing about mastering your craft is that it's extremely important to find a mentor, lean on that mentor. And I interviewed Dusty not too long ago, and Dusty's doing great for himself. I mean, he has a team, he has a Todd agency, but he still refers to Keith as his mentor, and he will still defer to him for advice and stuff like that. How important is the mentorship side of things when it comes to your guys' field and just in general?
Well, a wise man once said that no man is an island unto himself. And I believe that in this business, that's even more true, because you can't completely master your own thing. You have to be able to rely on somebody else and bounce ideas off of them. And, having been in the business for 30 years, I've tried a lot of things, and I found a lot of ways that didn't work. And when my agents come to me and ask me questions about things, I'll say, "Well, we tried that, and that didn't work. It sounded like a good idea, but it didn't work." And there are things that Keith has been exposed to, and Jordan and Craig and Dusty and Blythe and all of the partners and Cole. They know things that I don't know because they've experienced things, even though, and Cole and I like to joke because he's 1 month older than my insurance license. And being able to access guys who are at a different level, because by being at a different level, they have a different view. And as you move up the mountain, you do get a different view and a different vantage point of, what's available, what works and what doesn't work. and having a mentor that, Keith has got Jordan, and Jordan's got Craig, and Craig's got integrity, and integrity, is a team of people. So we've got access to hundreds of years of experience.
Beautiful, man. I want to finish this up with one last thing regarding mastering your craft. And it's a phrase that I heard earlier. So everyone has the ability to become a master, and you control the level of mastery that you want to achieve. What does that mean to you? It's kind of like the ball's in your court. This is the vehicle. You just got to make sure that you don't run this vehicle off the road.
Well, Keith often says when he's doing his interview that people make $50,000 a year because they know how to make $50,000 a year. They make $100,000 because they know how. And they make $300,000 or whatever because they know how. I would say that mastering your craft in this environment, you can get to whatever level you want to. There's not a limit to it. The limit is based on you. You may want just to have more freedom. You may want to have more time with your family. You may want to have more, flexibility. This gives you that opportunity. You may want to buckle down and really hit it and go out there and make 7 figures. You can do that too. So mastering your craft is based on what you want. And you can hone this to be the tool to get you to wherever it is you want to be.
Beautiful, man. Marcus, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for sitting down with me.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and thanks so much for watching. For more on Black Tie Optional, subscribe on YouTube by hitting the notification bell or follow us on social media. Black Tie Optional also streams across all podcast platforms, so the next time you're in the car or at the gym, look us up by typing in Black Tie Optional Podcast. Again, thanks so much for watching and listening, and until next time, stay motivated.